Okay, then. Hey, how you all going? It's Jai, that Aussie metal guy here with crank.com and with that metalstation.com. And today I'm getting to have a chat, shall we say, one-on-one with the grim one, the Jane Rivers of heavy metal, Necrosexual. I won't hit that high tone. I can't quite hit it this morning with this man flu, with this cold I've got. But thank you very much for joining me, Necro.
It's actually what?
That's what I wanted, bro.
Yeah.
How you doing, mate?
I feel grim. Good to be here in my lair. Thank you for going one-on-one with the grim one, indeed.
No, it's an absolute pleasure, man. For those that haven't heard of you, man, you've got a unique style. Can you tell us kind of a little bit about the sound you've got with your band?
Yeah, it's definitely a bit unique. I pride myself on being the most electrifying man and band leader in corpse entertainment. And so what we have here is a fusion, a meat platter of riffs, a lot of black metal and 80s excess with some speedy and thrashy moments. I just want to get you moshing. You know, if I can imagine people losing their minds, going crazy, headbanging, or strippers dancing to it, that's what I aim to inspire.
Yeah, it's got a great sound to it. And I like the whole package you have going on, Necro, from the Grim One album that came out in 2018. I think that's kind of when I first come across you, man. But it's the whole package with you all, man.
Yes, it's a very meaty package.
It's a very, very meaty package, man. So when did you sit in the head? When did you go, Necro, man? This is Necrosexual has to be born. When did you start this journey, Necro?
Yeah, I always tell people the seeds of Necrosexual Seduction were first planted. I turned 14 years old and I heard Angel of Death by Slayer for the first time, and the whole by Tom Mariah really gave me a throbbing heavy metal hard on for the dark side. And then it was a slow burn since then. But in 2011, it was my first performance in September. So I'm going on 10 years of performing publicly as a Necrosexual. And I was able to just, channel a lot of my frustrations at the time as a comedian and as a musician that hadn't really gone anywhere toward this heavy metal persona, my inner Hellraiser, and cranking all the knobs up to 11 and really electrifying people. And it connected right away. And from there, I love playing music. I've been playing bass since I was 10 years old and guitar. So I was like, let's continue the front. The Necrosexual domination. So it was about 2015 that we played our first concert, and the rest is history, baby.
The rest is history, and it's been hard work. Necrosexual, man, this must be really, people probably don't see all the work that you put into it, because not only are you doing the great interviews that you do, you're doing all the music stuff, and then like there's the movie reviews as well you got going on over at YouTube. It seems like
sexy cinema. Yeah,
that's the one. Necrosexual is the whole package, man. It must take a lot of work. But did you envision this at the start of this journey, Necro, when you were first kind of starting out on this? Did you think that you were going to be so well received and that you were going to get across so many years when you first started this journey?
Of course not. And I think that being underappreciated, I'm appreciative that you appreciate the efforts that I have put in behind the scenes, not just in the music, but also with the editing and the videos and the interviews, the full platter, as you would say. But yeah, when I started, I knew I had an idea, and the more I did it, the more of a reaction I got from people. And of course, with Necrosexual, it can be extremely polarizing. You either love me or hate me, but that's okay, because I'm happy to provoke a strong reaction either way. And the ones that get me, and they really like me, and they like what they see. So that only inspires me, or for that matter, when people are like, fuck this guy, he's making a mockery of heavy metal. If you don't get it, that just inspires me to be even more over the top. You think that I'm being a joke now? Well, look at this, steak on my dick. So that's,
Yeah, that's it. And you do have you do have the comedic elements, but you've also got the serious side of metal as well. Like a lot of like King Diamond and a lot of these bands of the black metal started out kind of with this alter ego image as well as they were going forward. They didn't just rock up and go, hey man, this is me. And, they had the whole package as well.
Yeah. I think that whether you love me or hate me, you listen to the records I put out, you put out the music that I contribute vocals, guitar, sometimes lead guitar, bass guitar, keyboards, and you can't deny that I can shred,
Yeah.
I strive to shred. So I think that's just the thrash metal element that I grew up on. But also I love a good rock and roll song. And of course, anytime you get on stage, you need to respect your audience. So give them a show, be something greater than yourself. People that go to a concert, they want to feel something. They want to be inspired and they want to escape and release. And I've seen a lot of, especially heavy metal bands that kind of just get on stage with their hands in their pockets and just play their instruments. And so I try to go over the top and commit all the way in everything that I do.
Yeah, you go that step a little bit further. I actually was talking about this on my show yesterday. It's great when you see some bands and they do that well and they just play, but it's also great when you see other bands that do put that theatrical element into their music. So it's not just the music, it's the whole bloody package with it as well. The whole meaty package.
Yeah, the whole platter. We got a smorgasbord, baby.
Yeah, so Seeds of Seduction, man. When did you start working on this one?
Yeah, so Seeds of Seduction, we began in earnest. It was fall 2019, and due to the pandemic and the state of the world for a while, we're releasing it now in basically September, fall 2021. But a lot of those songs, like Chaos Command, those were riffs from like way back in like 2013, 2014 that were kind of like recycled and then matched with newer, more current riffs. So they go back a long ways. Long Time to Die, that was actually penned by my lead guitarist, the Vigo, Vigo Gabriel. So that was kind of one of his numbers that we were jamming on like 2016, 2017. So it was a long time coming for those 3 songs plus the B-side. Yeah. But I'm really pleased with the product. It's 3, it's concise, you get in, you get out. You have 3 songs that sound very different from each other, but still have a very consistent tone in the overall architecture of sleaze. And I couldn't be more pleased. The people that get it, like you, they really dig it. Yeah. Some people, it's not for them, but that's all right, baby. We're rocking and rolling.
Yeah, I love the opening line. It's like, lo and behold, the most electrifying band in corpse entertainment will make our final stand. Our licks will be delivered as swift as a twister. You won't have any
idea what hit you.
That's the one, dude. As soon as that comes, you're like, yeah, man. I do. And you kind of, as you're saying, the people that don't get you need to give you that bloody time and have a listen like through and see what you're doing. Like the first time, I come across, I was like, okay, then, you got to give it time and you got to go check out the whole bloody package. I was like, I get what this guy is doing, man, and it's really bloody cool. You got to stand out a little bit sometimes because you work on the other side of the music media industry as well. You got to stand out a little bit apart from the rest as well because there is so many great metal, rock, punk bands out there that you do got to have a little bit to stand out above the rest, an image or something that will click someone's attention. Love them or hate them, you're going to watch them.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of bands that sound like the same 4 or 5 favorite bands. That's great, but for me, that's like almost like cheating. Like, yeah, I could sound like so-and-so. Like, I love this band, I love Entomb, but I don't want to come out with like a buzzsaw riff. There's like fucking 20 bands, 24, 100 bands that have like that Swedish death metal kind of worship or whatever worship. So, and yeah, with that Chaos Command, with that line about being the most electrifying band in corpse entertainment, I mean, that was especially with the pandemic when we were under lockdown or just not able to do shows. I really got to focus on and marinate, the things that matter. And this EP is about performing. It's about rocking and rolling. It's kind of like a calling card for who we are and what we do. And of course, the sexual innuendo and the dark humor and everything is seasoned in there. That's why it's called Seeds of Seduction. You kind of have to, like you say, give it a chance, let the seeds be planted. You might be like, fuck this guy, but you know what? You're going to be humming it. You're going to be singing along before you know it in the shower. So it'll creep its way into your ear.
Yeah, that's it. You were talking about the B-side as well, which is a cassette as well, limited to 100, and it does have the Grim Hymn, which is on there as well. And you've also remastered the Dead Sexy track and whacked it on there. How cool are tape cassettes coming back, man? I've been getting a few myself and records and this old medium, man. It's like something really cool to see.
Right. Yeah. The last 2 releases I did were on CD and they sold okay, but I think tape, this is significant for me. It's a milestone, not just my 10-year anniversary as a performer, but it's also my first foray onto the cassette medium. And same, dude, I love CDs. I grew up with CDs. I think that they're kind of the best of both worlds. Like, vinyl sound great and have the whole package, but they take a long time. They're not quite as, you can't play a vinyl in your car unless you have a fucking vinyl player in your car, which is probably going to skip a lot. And, they don't make that many cars with cassette players anymore. So CD's always been a happy medium, but in this case, I wanted to kind of go a little bit more old school with the cassette. I think that this listening experience is a really good A-B side because you have the 3 core tracks for side A, and then you have the bonus tracks for side B. And then we have Folk Banger Records. I always say, it's a banger if it's put out on Folk Banger or Folkvanger. but they put out some really creme de la creme black metal releases with like Lamp of Murmur, my friends Dumal from also Philadelphia. So if it was a good fitting, conspiracy of like-minded freaks with this release. And also, that bonus track, Grim Hymn, it is exclusive to the cassette run. So that's the only way you can hear it. And it was recorded, that song, entirely in quarantine. So it's a bit more lo-fi, a little bit more basement black metal recording quality because it was. Yeah. And of course, you have Joel Grind remastering Dead Sexy. So it also sounds a little bit more proper to the medium. So I hope people really dig it.
Yeah, well, I can tell what you're doing. I can see that you're extremely passionate about black metal, and I can hear it through all your music. But as we're saying, that you mix in the thrash elements and the rock elements as well. And I like that what you're doing is kind of an ode to the black metal as well, but also making it your own too. And I don't think some people get that, but I really get that you're extremely passionate about black metal. I watched this video, just a short one of you up on YouTube, just sit there shaking your head over a Mewers set one show, and I'm like, man, this dude just loves black metal, man.
Yeah, totally. Venom, Lay Down Your Souls to the God rock and roll. I think that arrogance of Venom and that over the topness, and of course like the lead bass driven power trio definitely grabbed me and motivated me. Of course, Bathory, you have a sort of one-man band or one-man army. Certainly he had, earlier in his career, he had other musicians he collaborated with, but it was very much, for most of his career, a very singular driven effort. And Merciful Fate, King Diamond. So a lot of the old school first wave stuff. I love, Dark Throne and Immortal as well. They definitely shred. And I like how Dark Throne has reinvented themselves over the years. They've also started off with a very experimental death metal first, but then they got famous for doing the Norwegian second wave black metal sound, the real raw lo-fi. But then when everybody else now copies Dark Throne, they're doing their own thing, kind of going back to like speed metal and heavy metal. So I think that there's a lot of influences I draw from and pull from, and hopefully while you can hear those old school classic influences, there's also the necrosexual DNA dripping all over it. So it sounds like me more than anything else.
Yeah, the meaty necrosexual dripping all over it. The drippings from the meters at barbecues, that's for sure.
Yeah,
man.
yes, yeah.
I gotta mention the album cover, man.
Yes, yes, it's the best album cover of all time.
I know, dude.
Well, that was sorry, what was your question?
Who done that?
Yeah, so that was a happy little accident that was captured by a very good friend and pervert extraordinaire, Chris Kuntz, or that's Chris K Photography or Chris K Photo on the internet. But he did a lot of the promotional shots for like the Grim one as well, that the band photos from that period. The steak photos, where there's some other promotional photos of me with a steak from over the years that you can see on my Bandcamp and social medias. So we have a long running collaboration. He's a great dude. Normally he does a lot of burlesque photos or like corporate high fashion type stuff. So it's a little bit of a treat for him too, to go into the rock and roll side of things. But to answer your question, I had the idea in my head. Originally I wanted to have it be like a full body kind of like black metal portrait, like my take on the black metal portrait, with the meat and the chains. And we did that, and those pictures came out great, but he had the awareness to be like, hey, let me just zoom in and get the close-up of just the meat on your dick. And when I saw the pictures, I'm like, dude, that's it, baby. Like, that says it all. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like Motley Crue, Too Fast for Love, or a little bit of Typo Negative, but it happened very organically. We didn't plan on it. And the picture, I feel like what you're getting into when you see that album cover. So it's a definitive, very eye-grabbing statement, and very on brand with the necrosexual lyrical attack on that record. So I couldn't be any more pleased.
Exactly. Ode to track 2 as well. Screamin.
So what was that?
I said an ode to track 2 as well, getting you ready to Screamin for the Steamin Demon Semen.
Screw for the Steamin Demon Semen. Yeah, exactly.
So this album come out September 3rd, which is bloody
yesterday
or 2 days ago here. Where's the best place people can head along and buy the album? I noticed you're up on Bandcamp, but have you got some other sites as well that people can get along and buy merch, or is that the best one that people can get along
Indeed, to? Necrosexual.bandcamp.com. We got you covered for CDs. You can get the album on digital format if you don't want to get a cassette. We have 8x10s, several signed, autographed Necrosexual 8x10s you can order if you want to give it to your friends or loved ones or other perverts in your life. And then if you want to get the cassette, you can get that on Folkvanger Records. They have their own website that I think is linked from their Bandcamp. So definitely get on it. 100 cassettes. Be one of the few and the proud perverts of necrosexual freaks.
And this merch, it's always a cool place. I do like Bandcamp and I do harp on it a lot, but it's also, as you said, like if you just want to buy the digital version as well, you can head over and buy the digital version and you're still supporting the necrosexual as well.
Yeah, fuck Spotify. I like to get
I'm constantly going fuck Spotify as well. I know that he's going to run me over one day. There's going to be the little Spotify dude behind his car going, finally got that fucking metal guy. Because but I was sitting there at work the other day and fucking my workmates probably going to hate me. I won't mention any names, but they're all sitting around going, oh, have you got Spotify Premium and Spotify this? And I'm like, you do realize that does fuck all for the artist. If you like the band, go buy the album as well. Like,
yeah, I feel like one of the most like disheartening things you can hear as a band is if somebody is like, usually online as well, but when somebody's like, oh, is your stuff on Spotify? Like, oh, is there a place I can hear your music without having to pay for it to support you in any way? Like, so I appreciate the support, and I like, by all means, digital is great. So if you can find a way to support the bands, kick a little something over, you won't be disappointed.
And I do got to mention your interviews, man. That must take a lot of work. Which ones have you got a couple that have really stood out for you? Because I've done a lot myself, and it's kind of hard. You kind of get lost in what you're doing as well, but you don't really get much time to look back at who you've chatted with. Have you got any that kind of really stand out as ones that you're really proud of and ones that you're really happy to have done or glad to have done? Maybe an idol or something?
Yeah, of course. There's been some really, really excellent highlights from over the years. I'm a huge Creator fan, so I got to interview Mille from Creator on Halloween in 2013, and he was super cool. He totally got it. He was having a good time. He's even like shared it since then on several occasions, so that's super flattering for me. Talking to Steve Grimmett from Grim Reaper, when we were doing the Necrosexual's lair at like a late night studio. They're all on YouTube, so feel free to check them out in cyberspace. Another one I would say, Gary Holt from Exodus. That was a career defining moment for me. And of course, interviewing Ace Frehley when I got to call him a heavy metal grandpa and he complimented my face paint. Like, it doesn't get any better than that.
That's got to be one of the best, isn't it? Call him a heavy metal grandpa. That's got to be a highlight for sure, man. How's the Philly music scene going at the moment, man, with everything that's happening? Have you got any plans playing live? What's it looking like as you're coming out of everything? What's happening?
Yeah, we're slowly but surely crawling out. The concerts were kind of like the last thing to come back, but luckily in Philadelphia, a lot of people have been, getting vaccinated. So the numbers are pretty low. And we had a show end of July. So that was our first show back post-pandemic. People were going fucking crazy, full capacity in a sweaty little dive bar. So people
was that? Was there any restrictions or people could stand up and mosh? Or
it was, it was all good. 50-person capacity. So sort of limited. In a venue like that, 50 people feels like 100 or like 1,000. So everybody had a good time. And since then, they're doing, with most of the shows in Philadelphia that are maskless, they're doing, vaccination. So you at least have to have that to get in. So that's the way of the world for now. But we have a show planned for November with a really sick band, Book of Worms from Richmond, Virginia. They're like spacey psych rockers.
They're cool.
And they're good dudes.
I got to chat to the Book of Worms guys as well. A couple of them too. That was a really cool interview. That was fun. Great doom metal band as well.
Yeah, they keep it spacey. So we go back a few years as well. So we have that in November we're looking forward to.
Oh, cool.
And beyond that, just kind of taking it easy, kind of going for less is more. We'd love to, of course, this new album, I'd love to hit the road and play more. And I'm sure that's going to happen in the future too. And I got already the next batch of songs that are written and marinated in my head. So hopefully the next one will be a full length.
Awesome. Necro, I need you to pick one track for us to end with off of the new album, and why?
I feel like you called it out. So my track 2, that's all me playing all the string instruments, and it just fucking, it's fast, it's lewd, it's sleazy, it's screaming for the steaming demon semen and eruption of the soul to fulfill your gaping howl.
The Necrosexual. This has been an absolute pleasure to finally get a chat with you, my friend. Do you have any last words, shout outs, or thank yous you want to add in there?
Yeah, I just want to give a hell yes, raise the horns to all the heavy metal freaks, from all over the world, especially down under. Keep bringing the thunder. And I want to thank you, Jay, for going one-on-one with the Grim One.
Absolute pleasure. Everyone grab the Seeds of Seduction by the Necrosexual. Put it in the stereo, turn it up bloody loud because the neighbors are going to be screaming for it as well. Thank you very much, my friend.
G'day. Before we get stuck into this great interview, if you all could hit the like and subscribe button, that would be bloody awesome, and it'd mean you all keep up to date with all the great interviews brought to you by myself, crank.com, and thatmetalstation.com, the only station with more metal than your Mars kettle. Cheers, guys.